Hello. Well, good night, everybody. I am here tonight. We're going to have a fabulous night. Another night of passion. Another special list tonight. We're going to have lots of passion into it tonight. Things are going to be flying off the sky tonight. Wonderful, amazing things are going to happen tonight. So it's a special night, and it will be great to join me. I'm sending out this energy of coming to us, and let's see what we can do. It's going to be amazing. My topic is so wonderful that I figured it would be worth it to send it out to you tonight and let you enjoy the energy of the evening, So here we go. Hello. Hi, Angela. How are you this evening? Hello, Susie. Hi, guys. How are you doing? Tonight, we're going to have a great night. We're going to have one of those nights where everything is absolutely amazing. If you looked at the topic today, you'll see where I'm going with this. And of course, the reason why I decided to take this topic on tonight is because I keep getting the same little DM messages that how do you keep getting those new content? How do you always have a topic that is just out of this world? Or you choose a topic I haven't heard before, or you reframe a topic from before. So I decided, you know what? Let me tell them how I do this. So here we are. So here you are, and welcome to the Tessa-Marie show. So tonight, it's me. Last night, Angela, you missed a wonderful night. I don't know if you dropped in. Susie and I were on fire. We did a night of colors. The magic and the joy of colors and how much they influence your life. So, and how long ago they were used from the Egyptian to the Chinese in chromotherapy, and how today we still use them, how the advertisers use them. And it was like an eye-opener for us. So tonight I'm bringing this special edition of Creating with Words. Now, creating with words is a magnificent way to create, right? It's a way when you create with words, you have to understand the meaning and the purpose of your words. There's very little that we do in life that we don't have passion. And when I say the word passion, some people get queasy and they go, here she goes again with passion. But this woman was created with passion. From what I could see, these people had so much love and passion within them that no wonder this girl was so special. So anyway, tonight I just wanted to, hello Christina, how are you? So lovely to see you guys here tonight. Women Wakers are force. So what I wanted to say to you tonight is the creation with words, creating with words. The first thing I need to say to you is that I don't see anything. When I see a word, I see something to be created. When I hear a word, I feel creation. When somebody talks to me, I hear them. Angela, one night, last week or was it this week, you came on the live. I can't remember if it was Sunday. You came on one of the lives within the past 10 days. Let's just give you that. And you talked about insecurities. You said, about an insecurity, and then I feel, like I'm not getting it done. And I go, okay. And I took that, and I did the insecurities as a live. Because I did it, and I used Tina Turner, excuse me, as a woman, some water, who experienced an insecurity that was so devastating. And you, Angela, have a beautiful head of hair. And her husband ran around, and his girlfriend burnt all the hair off her head. A woman without hair and scars in her head is going to be looked on. She's going to be looked down on. Insecurity galore. So you said the word, all I saw in your statement was insecurity. That word jumped out at me. And this is how I create. I create from one word. All I need is to take that one word and I go with it. So it's easy for me because I see words. I don't see pictures. When I walk into a fabric store and I look at something like that to design, I don't look at this. I don't look at the design. I first find this blue piece of chandelle fabric. That was what drew me to it. It came, the color. And then I choose a design. So I do the same thing with words. I find a word, or a word finds me. Most often words come looking for me. They jump out at me. They jump out at me everywhere I go. And I hear them, I see them. I'm walking through the room and somebody's looking at football. And the coach or the announcer says something and I turn back. And I know for sure I can create something with those phrases or those words. But I know where the root of this comes from. And this is what I want to share with you. If you read, when you read, my dad told me that you must read. You must read every day. And he says, because everywhere that author has gone, you're going to go. That's what he said to me. He said, you must read, because that you are in the author's mind. You have just entered his world. You have stepped into his realm. And you are now part of his life. You have taken him, you're following him through all these places. So when we looked at the Arabian Nights, we had to read that book as children. Or when he told me about If by Rudyard Kipling, I was stepping into it. He made sure you understood it. When it was time to turn off the lights, he gave me a flashlight and he said, use it under your covers and read. Don't stop until you feel you cannot read anymore. We are all avid readers. Everybody in my family loves reading. Every one of my siblings love reading. There was a series of books by Peter Danielson called The Children of the Lion. There were 19 books to this. Those books traveled through the entire world where every one of my siblings lives. My sister Dawn just got them again on Amazon as used books. It cost her $1 per book, $10 to have them shipped. So we read the same book. We could exchange the same thing. So when my children were growing up, when they were little, when they were like the size I see, like my 22-month granddaughter, we don't read from a book for her. We create a story. She doesn't maybe understand everything, but she learns words. We notice she will repeat the words. So what I did with my children, as they grew, I wrote stories and I sat at night and I read the stories. I would write the stories coming from work on the subway, at lunchtime, in the park. I just never stopped writing, and the characters in the story grew as they grew. And my son is the funniest of all because, boys tease their mother endlessly. He said, Mom, really? So even today he laughs at the stories. My husband used to stand at the bedroom door because he didn't want to be part of it because he looked silly. But he stood at the edge of the door and he listened when I recited the stories I had written all day for these children. And that was what I did. And the purpose, why I did this, there were no pictures. I forced the imagination to see it. So if I'm writing a story and I'm talking about a witch, and they are trying to escape from this witch, and they've climbed this craggy rock, the jagged rock, and somebody purposely put chisel pieces of glass in there. They're going up and they're grabbing it, and I'm explaining what they're doing, and their feet are sliding. And they're looking, and below them is the witch, and she has what's on her nose. It's hooked up, and I look at her teeth, and she has her pot, her cauldron boiling already, and she's just waiting for them to fall, and she'll have them for dinner. And that's what I did. I made them see the words. I made the words become part of them. And what that did for them, it expanded their imagination. So they had no choice. They didn't see pictures. They had to use their brains and my words to see what I was trying to say. And this is how I did it for my children. But I taught them to read to me. So they had to read a book, and I read a story I made up. And that went through all their life. Now, if I tell you what happens, my son Michael, he lives in the United States. He's been there since he graduated from the University of Toronto. And every time he comes to visit, I have special paper with my name on it, and you know the usual thing we do. And I write him a letter. I do not hand it to him. I place it somewhere in his suitcase or briefcase, or I usually the briefcase when he's not looking. So he got accustomed to getting them. And as he said to me once, Mom, I used to read them, and those things made me cry. So he said, he'll tell me, oh, I got your letter. And I said, you ready? He said, no. I put them on the dresser. They all line up there. And I just look at them and I go, no, you stay there. He said, I don't know when I'll read them ever, but they all line up on my dresser. And I just look at them and I just say, no, you just sit right there. I'm not crying over this thing. So I always wrote. There was no reason not to write. I write love letters all the time. I wrote to my husband. But what I want you to know is that you cannot write unless you read. You must read every day. And if you read every day and you want to make content for your show, you have to write every day. You must write at least 15 minutes a day. I write every day. And Yoko and I think Belinda have seen some of my short writing. I read a book I wrote on Angela's show. So I have a lot of these short stories that I write all the time. But what you must do for you to make content for your show, you must make content for what you want to talk about. You have to keep your ears to the ground. You have heard that saying. You must have your head right on the ground. You must be grazing the ground, listening for the information. The information is out there, like as I said, when Angela used the word insecurity, it triggered something in me. And I said, I can write something about that. And that was a fabulous live. We played her music, we did what we had to do, but it came from you. It came one word, insecurity, and that's all I needed. So what you have to do is choose what you want to talk about. If you're talking about confidence, then listen. There are people who walk the world, they're in the supermarket, they have an attitude. So this man is walking and his chest is out. And, you look at him. And a word will come to you. But you have to be accustomed to words. You have to want words to be part of your life. Hi, Taryn. You have to want words to be part of your life. And when the words become part of your life, then you can use them. Your imagination has to be constantly on point. You have to be always on point. You have to be turned on. If you want to write, you must be turned on. And the nicest way to write is to make a story. I see letters. I don't see pictures. So a simple word like walk. If you take the word walk and I happen to see it and it flashes, I can do something about walk. I will start. And her gait was not normal. She walked with a limp, with only on her toes. When you saw her, you wondered why her walk was so unusual. The story is told that she fell down the stairs, broke her, and you can just go on. So it's easy, you can fold it. And I'm forcing your imagination to see this woman walking with a gait, but her toes are the only thing touching the ground. And the story is, somebody said she fell from the stairs as a child. Nobody realized they concentrated on her hip when it was really her feet. It affected her walk. And today she walks with a limp and she needs a cane for assistance. So you make that, you hear that, and in your head you're creating the picture for me. I am just giving you the words. So I see words, that's all I see. Even when somebody speaks and there is no word, but the word comes out, that's what I hear. So if I'm standing in the supermarket and people are having a conversation, you cannot help but hear. So if I hear something that is going on, I can turn around and do this. And sometimes it actually can be very funny. And I don't think it's funny, but my fingers cannot leave the keyboard. I am going and my mind is so fast. So you have to practice though. You must read for 15 minutes, write for 15 minutes every day. And you must read, you have to read. There is so much material when you read. A simple word, the word who, the word what, the word when, the word champions. You have a child growing up and you want them to be a champion. Make up a story about champions. Superheroes wear masks. You know, heroes wear masks. Look at the word integrity. Integrity only matters when you do what is right when nobody is seeing you, nobody's looking at you. So we can do it, but we need to stay on point. What is your goal here? You want content, you have to go and do it. For you to have content for your show, for you to talk to people, then you have to find it. Read the books, choose your words, and use the words. The books will help you. Reading expands your mind. Reading teaches you how to speak. Reading is part of a complete makeup of a human being. When you read, you need to have inflection. There is a pause. They have a comma. They have a semicolon. They have a pronoun. They have a verb. There's a subject. There's a predicate. There's an object. You have to know them. Reading makes them come naturally. And when you're going to say, I am, you pause. You pause for effect. And that's what you have to, the same way you write, you put a comma in there. But when you read the book. Don't read a book and devour it, and at the end of it, you don't know what you read. Read a sentence over and over until it feels right. Highlight what is important. When you're reading a magazine and something jumps out at you, highlight it. Highlight it. Always have everybody has their device and they go, that's rubbish. Write it down. Have a notebook on the side of on your seat. I have a notebook in my car all the time and a pen. When I get at the stoplight, I write something. It could be the name of a street. They're running out of names and they have a brand new name. I look at the name and I wonder, what can I do with this? And right away, I don't have to wander long. But reading is where you will find your words. If you're doing something, as I said, on confident, then Google confident people. Google prime ministers, Google presidents. Find out what their speeches are. I wasn't American. I wasn't raised in America. I know nothing about it. But I know a lot because in England they teach you everything. So I knew about the continents, and if you studied under the British system, you will know about all the world. If you studied in India under the British system, you know exactly what the temperature is in Toronto. That's how they taught you. I didn't know Theodore Roosevelt, but when I found out he wrote The Man in the Arena. And when somebody is digging you and making you feel uncomfortable, you quote The Man in the Arena. It's only he that knows where it hurts, because he took the blows. His face was mad by dust and sweat, but the critics never tried that shit. So when the critics never tried it and they're criticizing you, read that speech by Theodore Roosevelt. For goodness sake, read it and see what he's saying. That is only you that took the blows. You're the one in the middle. You're the one doing the live. So this person that comes and tell you you shouldn't do that, they weren't in the arena. That is your arena. You are performing there. So he said, they don't know what it is to start from scratch again. You look at Rudyard Kipling. He told his son, the earth is yours, my son. But don't be fooled by knaves who set a trap for people. Don't be too wise or feel too smart that you are better than others. And he said, when you lose everything, start again from nothing and build your wisdom, build your empire again. Then read Proverbs. Then read the book of Job. They're all full of ideas. Last night, Susie and I talked about the wise woman, the last chapter of the book of Proverbs. And they talk about a woman. You would think she was massive and tall. They talked about her building an empire. She dressed in purple. She was out before dawn and she gathered stuff for her family and fed her family. Her husband stand as a king at the gates and talk about men. She created that. So all you have to do is read. If you're looking for content, read. Read what people are saying. If you cannot find the words to get together, read. Write and write and write. And when you get frustrated from writing, walk away. Look at Hemingway. They drank to death. I'm not saying that you should drink. That's not what I'm saying. You know, look at Shakespeare. Look at what Robbie Burns, and look at what George Bernard Shaw left behind him. He was an antagonist. He didn't like the rules. He stepped out and he said things nobody liked. But today he's celebrated as a powerful and amazing writer. Who are we not to learn from the greats? You know, there were so many of them. So when you're looking for content, don't wonder, don't sit there and twiddle your thumb. Pick up a book. When I was a little younger and I'd go to someone's house and I couldn't find a bookshelf, I was lost. Because the TV doesn't turn me on. It's always something that is just not there. I would look at no books. You know, like they don't have a book here. And that really used to bother me. And so I took the habit of when I would go to that house, take a book with me. But read and encourage the children that you're raising to read. Encourage others to read and share the information. Make a family book club. My friend Lisa, and I think 3 or 4 of them have a book club. When my grandson was here 2 summers ago, my nephew in New York wrote a book, I Am King. He has a series of 6 books that he's produced one already called I Am King by Damien Shillingford. I bought that book for his mother bought it and he came to Toronto. And my girlfriend Lisa, she bought it for her son. And I made them read. They had to read the book. And then we would have to discuss it. And I was amazed. They took the characters. It's an awesome book. And the 2 characters that the boys chose, Micah, my grandson, decided he wanted to choose somebody that was really, really, really bad in the book. And then I said, well, why him? He said, although what he's doing is bad, he's doing it because he wants to protect his mother and his sisters. So that is because he's accustomed of having to read to me. And when he reads, he has to tell me the story. If you call my niece Michelle, she's in medical school today. When Michelle arrived in Toronto at the age of 5, she hated reading. You are here for 10 weeks. What are you going to do? The loveliest time of your life as a child is to read in the summer underneath a tree. Sit there, your back against the tree and your book in your hand, you're in heaven. So she would cry, and I took her and I said, no, Mitch, you need to read. She cried until she realized I wasn't going to let go. She read, and then she had to tell me the stories, what she was reading. We discussed it. And then afterward, I said to her, but you can write your own stories. So she started writing. She was 5. Michelle came to Canada every summer, and when she would go back home, her parents couldn't pull a book from her hand. To this day, she's an avid and a ferocious reader. So that is what gives you an edge. So if there is people behind you, when I say the little people, encourage them to read. You read. They sit there, they read their books. You sit here, you read your book. And whether you don't have to make them read for 20 hours, 15 minutes. That's all they can absorb. Give them 15 minutes. They can do it. Put a timer. When they hit the timer, they'll jump up. But the point is the habit is being formed. And for you to get your content, you need to read. Read, digest, analyze, listen. Your ears to the ground. Follow the sound of voices. When you are in a lineup, instead of fiddling your foot, think of something that you can write about. Look at the people. Look at the faces. Describe them in your mind while you're standing there. If you hear a conversation, somebody's talking about somebody that is being abused or something, listen to the words. Listen to what they're saying, because those words will help you to bring what you're doing. If you want to be a coach, observe how children are coached. Go study the greatest coaches. They're all over the place. Read their words. Listen to their speeches. Listen when people talk. When somebody asks me a question, I repeat the question. So when somebody says to me, so what do you plan to do about this? And I'll say, okay, so you're asking me what I plan to do about this. So I repeat the entire question. You know where I learned it from? 3 men. Pierre Elliott Trudeau, one of our prime ministers, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama. Every time somebody asked them a question, they repeated the question. And I found out what it did. It gave them time to formulate the answer. And then in the book of Proverbs, it tells you, he who answers before hearing the whole thing is a fool. That is the word, that is what it describes. So when somebody is talking to you, listen. When they say you're not here, yes I am. Listen to their words, listen to the inflection in their voices. Practice that. When they speak, hear how they answer. They will perhaps go, well, yeah, so you're asking me this. And never ever say, that's a good question. Because that tells the person you don't know the answer. So pause. Instead of saying, well, that's a good question. No, it's not. Because you don't know the answer. That's why you're saying that. So what you do, you pause. You repeat the question. And while you're doing that, you're formulating the answer. So that's how you learn to write and to gather content. It's all around you. People talk, you're passing through the room, a news person says something, they use a word you've never heard before. Take the dictionary, there's one in your phone, and figure out what that word means. Then look at the thesaurus part of it and see what is another word. I have a friend that I talk to, and I can't remember what word I use, and she said, I've never heard that word. I said, oh, and I said, it's very gracious of you. And she said, what does gracious mean? I said, well, kind. But I use gracious. So in speaking, you can use gracious instead of she was kind. She was gracious, and you can continue. But that is a nice sounding word. That is why you choose your words. So to get content, what you want to work on, look for words, look for topic. If you want to talk about sports, then read some books on sports. If the person you're interviewing, the coaching, the person that is coming for you to discuss, don't look at the bio. Everybody in the world knows about the bio. Everybody does. You, in turn, find out something that is unique about them. Find out that they love to go to the shelter and feed people at Thanksgiving. Find out that they are part of a fundraising group in their community. That's not on the bio. Bring out something that is uniquely them. And that takes work. You cannot do it by just having them sit there. I'm going to talk to you about, no, we know what is in the bloody bio. So you have to go in and find the information. Make your content. That is how I do it. So all of you who have asked me, how come I don't repeat my topics? And how come I rearrange words so much? And are you able to do 2 different types of lives? I am always tuned on. I am always tuned on. I go to bed at 9. So anything that happens after 9, I don't know anything about it. But I am up at 5. I wake up with the birds. And I had my eldest daughter in tears the other day because I woke up to a bird becking on the glass of the window. And I told it to her in a story form because the poor bird was thinking it was another bird. It was its own shadow. It was all the time like that. So I made a story and I told her about it. And she said, Mom, that is too early for that type of laughter. But this is what you do. So I go to bed early. I read every day. I write every day. I walk every day. I exercise every day. I dance every day. I talk to friends and I listen to people all day. And I just get excited to come here at 7. I get even more excited in the morning. Because when I'm done, I will start thinking about tomorrow morning. I have information set aside for 2 years. That much. And sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. But when I travel, I look for information also. Sometimes people are in the group are talking. while on the groups I travel with, and I find things that are exciting and different, and I'm in awe of what people say. But I use that when I come back to do the things I want to do. So if you are looking for more material for your topics, read about your topics. Even if you don't like the author, or you don't like what they're saying, or you're not in agreement with them, it is still wise to learn. I had a lot of people angry at me in 2016. They were so angry at me because everybody was talking about the president that was number 45. And I said to them, he's going to win. And no, I said, yes, he is. I said, he's the only person that believes in himself. When all the world are doubting you and losing their heads and blaming it on you, he stood on his own. It wasn't what I liked, but the man believed in himself. He spoke a game. So you have something. You learn from everybody. Don't dismiss a human being because you don't like what they stand for. You can learn from what it is they want to do and what it is you wouldn't do. So you know this is not the road I'll go because I can see the results. So don't dismiss somebody because you don't like them. And you can learn from them. The point is that you're in this world to learn. As long as this thing here, this piece of muscle is going do-doom, you're there to learn. And that brain of yours is still functioning, you're here to learn. And you better learn. Because what you learn on Monday, you will use it on Wednesday. You are lucky if you don't have to use it the very next day. So don't dismiss somebody because you don't like them. And don't do that, because if you do that, you will miss out on what you should learn, because you might need that information later on to save your butt. Literally. So when we are feeling, I don't associate it, you don't have to associate, you just have to learn and observe. And observation is your biggest lecturer. No professor in the university can give you what you get from observing others and then using it to benefit yourself. So this is what I wanted to talk to you tonight about, is where my information comes from. My brain does not stop. I have to talk to it. For years now, I have had to say to my brain, we need to go to sleep. And I found out long ago, I would say we need to go to bed. My brain never understood that. Saying you're going to bed does not mean you're going to sleep. You're going to lie in the bed. So I had to find the language of my brain and spoke to it. We need to go to sleep. You need to shut up. You need to stop telling me what I should be doing and how I should do it. And that's what I do. So once I hit the pillow, I'm gone. 10 minutes later, I'm done. So if you're having a dance at 9:30, don't invite me. I'll be asleep. So that's what I wanted to say. And tonight, I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's a question or two questions. So I have to ask, what's your favorite phrase or word? My favorite, I'll come back to that. What is your favorite phrase or your favorite word? The critics don't matter. The people that criticize me, they're like water on the duck's back. My phrase for that is, they haven't been in the arena. They don't know what it is I do, to do what I do, to have what I have, to function as I function. So they don't matter. So I will quote this man, Theodore Roosevelt. They don't count. They haven't had the sweat and tears, and they didn't start again. And they didn't have to hold it by all their hands, fingers, and the blood dripping from them, and wheeling their body, asking their sinew, their nerve and their sinew, to just give me one more turn. That is what they don't know. When you're up there and you're holding and you have to succeed, and you're asking your body and your nerve and every sinew and ounce of blood in your body, I need it. Give me one more chance. They don't know that. So I don't care. So the critics don't count. That is my favorite phrase. Critics don't count. And my favorite word is success. Live a successful life or fulfilled life. Success is my favorite word. And the word I use every day to come here is to inspire. So that is important for me. The critics don't count. So, what words do you find at night? What words do I find at night? When I sit in contemplation, for example, before I come on the each live, I have about 5 minutes that I just sit quietly. I might drink water. So I think about my topic, but what words I find at night. By the time nighttime comes, I'm done. So the words I would find at night is I look for words that would be like clarity, words that would be clear, words that would help me to focus, and words that would, I use like, I do something at night. It's not a word. I use peace at night. I say the word peace, P-E-S-E, when I go to bed. So I use that and I just calm myself down. I bring myself down as if I'm going into the mattress. So all of me just gets there, and in seconds I'm gone. So I use those kind of words. I am an early morning person. So if you ask me what type of words I find in the morning, they're numerous. When I get up and I open the window and I look outside and I see the dew and I see the grass is, June grass and May grass is so green. And I see that, I see the word green, and that word is encouraging. Like we talked about it last night, it's money. So I see that word as being forceful, strong. I look at the color of the earth and it's there, it doesn't move. It just sits there and it soaks everything in. So I like brown in the morning, the green. And when the flowers start to bloom, I look at all the colors. I study flowers. I study plants. So I look at the petals and each are different, but on the same thing. So this is what I do. Dear Taranford, we cannot take every book because everything is under the control of the... Oh, okay, you're talking of something else. So anyway, guys, let me see what we have here tonight. All your comments. If you, I answered your question, Donato. I hope it was good for you. I know you're a hard taskmaster. You want more. So let's see what I can tell you guys about it. I hope you got some stuff tonight that can help you. Angela was here. Thanks, Angela, for dropping in. It was a pleasure having you. Coach Susie, as always, you know that. Donato, as always, you are special. I enjoyed the topic and learned a lot and new and great things. Thank you, Susie. Was that from last night? You have Donato, wave. Everybody's waving. You guys love to wave. Hi, Susie. Hi, Donato. Hi, Yoko. Water, you're getting too excited. Oh, go to sleep, Donato. Take a breath. Did you make that jacket? Yes, I did. It was funny. It's quite interesting. And this is a special brooch. Selwyn, Debbie, hi Debbie, who else is there? Donato, The Children of the Lion. Yeah, the book called The Children of the Lion by Peter Danielson. I love that series. We all did in our family. Rocket Employment. Hello, Christian, Belinda. I didn't see you were there tonight. Hello, guys. So I very true, Siggy said. All of you had fun, I hope. I was hoping to get more questions from you guys, but hi, Ali. Hi, Taran. I was hoping you guys would have more to say, but no, you guys didn't. Knowledge is power, Taran said. Good for you. No, Taran, I love that. You always have something. You're awesome composing your content. Wow, I love it. It's easy. It's easy. I see the word. Remember that. Read and apply what you read and apply what you read. Yes, that's what it is. Tessa, excuse on point. Thanks, Taran. Coaching with Susie. Loves it. Books are my best friends. They always stay close to me. I do. Hearing you talk about it so passionately, I want to read more. Reading, oh my God, I love reading. I could read all day. I have read all day. And my husband would cook. He'd say, aren't you putting this down? No. And sometimes I forget to eat. It's very hard. I can imagine Ali. Can you know he said the government control it. Tessa is pumping us to read more books. Exactly, Yoko. I really like that. Listening is such an important of any conversation. Thanks, Taryn. When I was growing up, we were encouraged to use dictionary and thesaurus in conjunction. Voila! That is one of the best things they did for you. Because the dictionary gives you a meaning to a word. And the thesaurus gives you the synonym or the antonym. The synonym is the words that mean the same, sound and spelled differently. So it's using another word. Like when I said gracious, the synonym would say kind. You know, caring, the synonym would say the same thing. So that's what you get. That's a good way. That was a marvelous teacher to do that. Nina came and left because I know. There you go. All problems solved. I'm so glad Nina drops in. She's such a trooper. She should be in bed. So that is sad, Ali. I can hear that. The pink Canadian purple is here today. Thanks a lot. I didn't know that. Sorry, Ali. But guys, there's just a few of you left. If you had any, I would stay on as long as you guys want me. If you have a few more questions and you put it in that question box, or you want to have a conversation and you want to come on, I will sit and have a chat with you. And you can ask me more questions. We don't have to have 100 people on for us to entertain ourselves. This is, remember, it's a Tessa-Marie show. It's an entertainment. It's knowledge with entertainment. That's what the Tessa-Marie show is all about. So you have to remember that. So if in case you want more, or you have a question, or you want to come on, send me a request. I will stay and have a chat with you. The night is young. So if you want, I'm waiting to see if anybody will take a chance and come. I didn't know that. Sorry. Okay, that's... So you guys are done with me? Oh, Tiggy. Go, come on, fun. Let's see how you're doing. Come on, guys. Hang on for Tiggy. She's coming on. I'm looking forward to that. I love having a conversation. Hello, my sweet. Here you are.
Hi, dear. How are you?
Yoko was here. You are. As I said, it's a joy to watch. Thanks, sir. So, Tiggy.
Yeah, nice to see you. It was so inspiring to listen to you, what you are telling us. Sorry, I don't have my tripod very close to me, so I'm just holding it with my hand.
That's okay. It's better to read it than not hold it at all.
Yeah. But it's really very interesting. I was so much impressed by how much you are so well organized, and I can see how much writing you are in your life. So I just want to appreciate and thank you.
No, that's all right. I've always written. I started reading at an early age. My father was an avid reader, and so were all the members of the family, his brothers, his sisters, and we had such a huge family. We spent a lot of time together. It was always family. But we were taught to read as children because he figured reading was going to be an added education. And his key thing was that where the author has gone, you're going. So he said that's why it's important to read. And he said you are visiting many worlds. So my dad was the kind of person that education was so important to him. I saw if they said you had to cut out your nose so your children could go to this school, my dad would. That was how deep it was. So, and the education started with us. You know, so he started with right in the house teaching us things, and we just grew up. But reading was important. And then if you read a lot, you will always write. Like I have 7 books every week that I read from. I don't read 7 books in a week. I read from 7 books every week. And I usually read for an hour, sometimes more, depending. In the summer, I read a lot more because I can sit outside, and I've always sat outside to read. When I was growing up, I would sit under the coconut tree and read, under the mango tree and read, under the grapefruit tree or the orange trees or the passion fruit tree on the plantation. I've read all my life, so it was important to read. But writing was because my mind was galloping, like my brain moves really quickly, and I have to really type fast. So I write with my hands. I write a lot. And I just love writing. It's like it's storytelling. And I am really a storyteller.
Yeah, I can see that. And, you know, the thing is, writing also, I'm okay to write, you know, kind of a structured thing. But telling a story is a problem where I have probably, or maybe I have to work more on. It has its own ways of doing, right? It's arts. Storytelling is an art. It's not something that you can.
You have to be able to put yourself in the picture. First, for you to tell a story, you have to know the story. And you need to put yourself in the picture. And to be in the picture, you have to be on alert all the time. Like I am literally turned on all the time. Literally. I will be at book club and I will watch the ladies, how they interact or what they say. Or they have a thread on WhatsApp and I'm not participating. Because sometimes I just don't want to participate in the conversation. And I'm following it, and then I can just write a story based on what they said, not using the exact words, and I would give them names, and I would take part. So that's one of the things I do. I love storytelling because you become part of the story. You're the storyteller. I have a book, I have a whole book written on the storyteller, and I can remember how I started it. And and what was his name? He's still there, you know. And he had a funny name, but let's just call him Tehran.
Okay. He's here listening class.
And he saw the light dancing, and he saw the reflection of light, of mirrors dancing against the sun. And he looked up and he said, she's here, the storyteller is arriving. And everybody in the village started screaming, looking up the mountain, and they could see her dress. It was covered in mirrors and different colors, and the sun was reflecting on it. And she was coming, the storyteller is coming. And all the young boys kept running around, getting these big logs to put in the village square. And they bring the fire pits, and they're talking, and they say, she's going to tell a story. And when she walks in, she flings her dress open, and all you can see is all the colors and on the mirror and the sun. so I wrote the book, I wrote it. And so it's a storyteller, and she tells the story. And the fire they have a fire going, and everybody's sitting around the fire, and she walks in. And when she walks in, she throws her dress around, and she said, I am going to tell you about the runaway thief.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He goes on and on, and the story just unfolded, and the boys, what they were doing, and they had to roast corn. It was just fun. So that's what imagination. There is no limit.
That's very interesting. So what kind of advice do you give for people who are the first time starters to storytelling or try to write stories?
Know your topic and start. Know your topic. All you need to know is what you want to write about. That's all. You don't everything else. Once you start, so you're the first time and you want to tell a story and you choose a topic. So choose a topic. Let me hear. Give me a topic.
Now?
Yeah, right now.
The Canadian pink.
The secret of the pink diamond, right? You want to hear about the pink
diamond or pearl, yeah.
Okay. The Canadian pink diamond. So I would I call it the secret of the Canadian pink diamond, how it was found and where. So let's see. You want one, right?
Yeah.
So Tiggy was fascinated when she heard the news that there has been a new diamond found in the wilds of Canada. And Tiggy is so enthusiastic. She saw a picture of the pink diamond. And for the first time, she saw a diamond that was so big and it was so square. And when it was placed in the light, the colors, the different variation of pink jumped at her. She was obsessed with the idea of owning one of those diamonds. What could she do? Where could she get it? She knows it would cost a fortune. So Tiggy's only way was to go to work in the mines. She wasn't trained as a miner, but she was trained as a beautiful cook. And she thought these miners must eat, and I can cook right to their heart. And maybe if I get close enough to a diamond, to the mines, I might find a diamond that way. So let's go.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is really, you inspired me. This is really so nice. I think you have to give us free class on how to write, to tell a story or to write a story.
When you're writing, you have to write like you're telling a story. You
Yeah.
write like somebody else is going to read it. You understand what I mean? When you're,
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
so when you're gathering information to do a live and you're going to do a live, you have to gather the information and you should be able to speak it out there like you're telling a story, like you're talking to one person. Even if you have 501, you're talking to one person. This is why if you're interviewing somebody for a live or for an interview or coach, you need to know the background, not the information that is on the bio. You need to go deeper than that. You need to find, hi, Rosie Rose. You have to go deeper than that. So you need to find out what it is that, like, okay, look at Rosie Rose, right?
Yeah.
Rosie, if you look at Rosie Rose's bio, it is not going to say that she goes in a sauna and then from the sauna, she jumps into cold water. It's not going to say that on her bio.
Yeah, it doesn't say, yeah.
But when you say that to your audience before she comes, they get more intrigued. Why would she do that? And so you can say, Rosie, tell me why. How do you feel? What is that drove you to do that? What was interesting about being in a hot, hot sauna, and coming immediately and jumping into an ice cold tub of water? What does it feel like? And what is your mindset? So you have a whole conversation there going. What I'm saying? So you don't have to know that Rosie is, her job says she's a nutritionist. It doesn't say she's a risk taker, but you find out by studying her, by going and looking at what she does and find out she's a risk taker. She exercises out in the open. She exercises with other people, not always in a gym. So you find out that she loves to cook. Right? Because she's a nutritionist, but she likes to take chances and try different things. So you talk about that. Maybe she was a vegan in a past life. Ask her how she feels about if she was eating as a vegan. She might tell you no. But in the past life, she might have been a vegan and she might say, no, I've always been intrigued with it, but I love the taste of meat. So you can bring it out of her. So we have to know the secret. That I learned it naturally because of business, but at the bank, one of the things they would teach you is that what you have to sell, that person wants it. They just don't know that yet. So your job is to bring it from the back of their head to the front of their head. You have to sell them that product that they don't know they want until you told them they could have it. So that's what we're doing with the audience. We're giving the audience something they want. So if like when I came last night with the word about colors, we talked about colors, and then somebody told me today they were reading about the psychology of colors. That how they use colors to get people to buy, which is true. We touched on that last night. And like I said to Angela when she talked about an insecurity, I took it and I made a whole show. We were there. We danced with Tina Turner's song. And that is what it is. So it's not what is in front of you. It's not talking about this thing that's there now. Is what is behind me. Find out about me. I had my own business. I studied fashion design. That's not on my bio.
Yeah.
I started a ceramic studio. Everybody in the class was white. They thought I worked for somebody white, but I owned it. They didn't know that. So you go and you find out what it is I like to do. I love to travel, you can tell, but I love taking chances. I do risky investments. So that is what you go for, the backstory. Your content is always there. It just requires work. You can always get content when you're doing a live, but you have to go. It's like what I do, and I'm not joking when I say I go digging first for a nugget, a golden nugget. I go looking. When I come there, I'm serious about the information. I want it for myself too. So I want it for me. I create for me and you. So I purposely go digging for something to give you, to make you stay there and live. So that's my nugget. Then I go further and I get a pearl. And the pearl might jump out at you and say, oh, that is so important. I didn't know I could do this. And then you get the pink diamond because, wow, really? That is valuable information. I can now go and, if I do a financial thing, some people have gone and said, go to the bank and say, I need to get out of this mortgage. That mortgage you give me is taking me to the grave. So that to them is a diamond. And changes can be made because you have to remember it's more expensive for the bank to get a new customer than to keep you. You see, so they rather keep you than try to get somebody to replace you because it's more expensive to do all that work. So you have to, that's why I come here, to give you that type of information.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It was really great. Yeah, I just came to thank you and, get this valuable advice from you. You always have something to say, and there is always something I get out of whatever you you are thinking.
And she's more interested in my clothes. She goes, that's a very good top.
Yeah.
Herself and Yoko, they're always asking about these things.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, I've seen it. It's really very beautiful top.
Thank you.
And you read it, you are really good at it. Wow. I really appreciate, admire you.
From to study this thing, so I have to do it as well as I could. I had to do it professionally. That was the whole idea, right? Yeah. So that's it, guys. It's almost an hour I've been on, and I'm so happy that you guys joined. It was a great night. I hope somebody learned something on gathering information to do your lives. Like people keep telling Evan Carmichael that they don't they're running off of ideas, but you can't. You have to read. If you read, you won't lose ideas. If you read and you study and you literally keep your ears to the ground, you literally keep your ears to the ground, you will always get good information. You have to be on. Like somebody said to me, it was Evan that somebody asked me. I was with Evan on that show, and I said, yeah, I'm always tuned on. I'm always tuned on. But again, I follow rituals. Like I don't stay up past 9:30, right? For example, I have to be in bed by latest 9:30 because I'm up at 5, and the ritual is the same. And I must make time for my exercise, my prayer, my meditation, the shower, the getting dressed, and all of that stuff. So the first person I talk to is when I come to do the live. I have no conversation. I don't pick up my cell phone to read text or to do any of that. I don't get distracted by anything except I'm focused on this live I have to do at 8 o'clock in the morning. And 10 minutes before, I sit in silence. And in the 7 o'clock live, 5 or 10 minutes before, I sit in silence. So I try, it's not that I'm the greatest at doing this, but I enjoy doing it and I want to do it well. I always want to know I'm improving. I have no idea where it's going, but for now, I'm enjoying the ride.
That's good. We are also enjoying your ride and our ride too.
Taryn said thank you, and know that he knows part of my story.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to keep you late, and
Hey guys, so thank you everybody. Thank you for coming. Oh, Rosie said it's the tip. It wasn't the top. That's a very good tip. Good, Rosie. I'm glad you clarified that. Please.
Okay. Bye on my side.
I wanted to make sure that everybody got something. I wish you guys would say something on the live when it's posted to say, you know what, I got a nice tip. I got something new. But to get new information, Rosie, it's always good to read. Listen to conversations that you're not part of while you're standing in the supermarket or while you're at the gym and somebody's talking. Hear what they say, hear the words. They might use a word about their strength training, and you can talk about it and you can use it. You can have a chat about it. I was at the gym today, and this lady was talking about, her strength and how she started, what she looked like. And it just shows you that persistent pace. So then you can ask, how many of you have been persistent at what you do? Good night, Teron. So, so that is what you do. You just observe, or somebody who came to the gym and they were heavy and now they look svelte and they look nice, and you can maybe ask them a couple questions and say, would you like to do a live with me? Because I've been following you since at the gym, and we can do it right now. So you just get on and you do it. So Tigi says good night. So good night, everybody. I'll see you guys again some other time. Good night, everyone. Thanks for dropping in. It was an amazing time.